here at the Residences at Dockside, and joining us now is Chef Jeffery Power of Dettera Restaurant in Ambler, Pennsylvania. Welcome to our show, Chef.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. And you will be sharing with us today a wonderful salmon recipe that we can hopefully make for guests at the holidays.
We have our Scottish salmon here.
And this looks like a beautiful.
Yeah, it's a very nice fish. It's actually a farm-raised fish. It's raised very humanely and with very little impact on the environment. We're going to start out our cooking today by starting with our parsnip puree.
Okay, so this will accompany.
This will be one of the garnishes with the dish.
Great.
Okay, so I have some parsnips that have been peeled and sliced here. We're going to put those in the pot, and we're simply going to cover those with heavy cream. The parsnips will probably take about 25 minutes to cook or so. They want to be nice and tender, like falling apart before they finish. We'll start our sauce, the apple cider emulsion. A smoking hot pan here, and I have some gala apple, all chopped up.
And so you start off with some olive oil in the pan,
Correct.
Get it nice and hot.
Yes, and we'll add a little bit of butter in with the apples, and the butter helps kind of speed the caramelization process along. Okay. And with the apples, I'm gonna add some shallot, and then some garlic. We'll let that sweat. With the apples and onions, I'm gonna add some cinnamon sticks.
Wonderful aroma also for the
Correct.
season.
Yes. We're going to deglaze with a little bit of brandy and apple cider. And when you're cooking salmon with the skin on, you always want to start cooking it with skin side down.
And we want to make sure our pan is very hot?
Well, you don't want it to be too hot, because if it's too hot right from the get-go, you're going to burn the skin. So
Okay.
over medium-high heat or so.
A nice sizzle when we drop it in the pan.
Correct. And I have cipolini onions here, and celery root, and some fresh herbs.
So you have some thyme
Thyme
and some
and bay leaf. The salmon will take probably about 3 minutes on each side, but depending on how you want it cooked, I mean, it may take longer or even less amount of time. Our onions and celery have sweat out a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of chicken stock to that.
Okay. You can already really smell the sweetness coming from practically all the dishes, from the apple cider. Would you also be able to finish the salmon in the oven as well?
You could, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if necessary. Okay, so from here I'm going to flip the salmon over.
As you can see, a nice crusty skin.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I always like to add some herbs to the pan.
At the end.
Well, it's cooking, kind of at the end. Be careful because they pop a lot, but it just adds some nice flavor to your fish. You can also always baste your fish as well. Helps with the cooking process. Make sure that skin's really nice and crispy.
Amazing how you're putting together this, what looks like a very complex meal in a matter of minutes.
Exactly. I mean, it's all in preparation. You know, if you prepare yourself ahead of time, it really only takes a few minutes to put something like this together. Okay. So I have some finished parsnip puree here.
And essentially, when the parsnips are finished, do you put this into a blender?
We can put it into a blender or a food processor, whichever you have, and then just puree it until it's nice and smooth.
And you don't need to add any additional ingredients?
You always want to taste it for the seasoning.
Salt, okay.
Just make sure there's enough salt and pepper in there. Put this down on the plate first. And at the very end of cooking the fish, I like to add some butter in the pan. And just baste the fish with some nice
delicious.
butter. Butter always adds more flavor.
Oh, it sure does. And popular appeal, that's for sure.
We have our cipolini onions, and our celery root. And you can arrange these however you want on the plate.
Is this a dish that you've served at your restaurant?
Yeah, this is a dish that's currently on the menu at the restaurant.
Very nice. I like the different sizes that you've cut the vegetables to add some artistic
Exactly. It
flair
creates
to the plate.
different textures as well.
Really beautiful presentation there.
All right, one more little base on the fish. And we should be done. Just pat a little extra oil off. So put on the fish.
Beautifully cooked,
I have our
Chef.
finished sauce back here. Just to garnish
That
the plate.
sweet apple.
Yeah, everything ties together really nicely. The sauce is it's a little bit acidic as well. So it's a nice cleanser with the parsnip puree, which is very, very rich and a little bit fatty.
Wow, that skin really came out nice and crispy.
Nice and crispy.
And you know, it really is cooked perfectly, Chef.
Thank you.
Get some of that great puree. Velvety.
The puree
Really,
is
really, the
velvety,
puree
yes.
is velvety and a perfect accompaniment to the fish. Very, very good. What a unique, delicious way to celebrate the holidays, and you've made it look effortless for us to do at home. Thank you so much,
Thank you
Chef
very
Jeffery
much.
Power of Dettera Restaurant, for joining us here today and for sharing this great recipe that we can try.
You're very welcome.
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you.
To see today's recipe and all of the recipes featured on the Chef's Kitchen, log on to chefskitchen.tv.